excited to come to you live this morning from Florida. I feel like I'm a news presenter here. But I have with me my team of incredible teachers. We are from Lake Wales High School in Lake Wales, Florida. And we're here today talking about the rollout of EduProtocols, how we went from adoption to adapting EduProtocols to make them work in each of our classrooms, and then to amplifying, scaling this up across our entire school. Again, John kind of gave us a shout out already. If you've been at the Academy, we are the Florida people. And so we are so excited.
You're like the opposite of Florida man.
Yeah, exactly. So we're here again to share our experience today. I want to introduce you to my team because it's really about them and their experience. I just to get to go along kind of for the ride. So I'm gonna have them come on camera with me. First up, we have Samantha Garnes. She is an IB history teacher. Absolutely incredible things happening on the daily with EduProtocols, racking and stacking in her classroom. Give it up for Samantha Garnes.
Samantha.
Her counterpart coming down, also in the social studies department, Kara Goldman. This is a U.S. an EOC U.S. history teacher who last year had scores of 88% passing rate using EduProtocols also daily in her classroom. Give it up for Kara. Coming down next from our English department chair, our academic dean, this is Ashley Schwartz.
Hello.
She is the core of Lake Wales High School. She is a Lake Wales High School graduate, and she's taught all different types of ELA across the years, and her 29th year at this high school. EduProtocols are making her excited to keep coming to work today. So we're excited to have her here. I'm going to switch to my other side. We got some science representatives. Allie Capan, our physics teacher, IB physics.
Hi, Allie.
Physics. All these faces should be familiar, Don, right?
They're my people.
Our people. Allie is spearheading in her department the rollout of EduProtocols, and she's brought with her today one of her fabulous science teachers who's going to sneak in as well. This is Lauren Deneve. Lauren Deneve teaches biology and EOC class, where she is adapting EduProtocols and amplifying them across her department so that we can make sure we have solid biology scores, because we have some pretty brag-worthy biology scores here. So upwards of 80%.
That is true.
So we're
you're getting shout outs from the West Coast right now. I love the backdrop, you guys. That's super pro. You got a whole new aesthetic going.
Last minute thing, like on the fly. That's when we work best. So all right, let's see if I can flip. I think flip screens and flip to our next slide. All right, so again, we want to share our experience today with each of you. So I wanted to start, I'm going to tee up my teachers, because again, this is not about me, by just sharing quickly our story. We have kind of been this like middle of the road high school. We have about 1,600 students at our high school. They come from diverse backgrounds, all across not only our town, but across parts of our county as well. And we kind of been grooving, doing our things, again, middle of the road for several years. And then COVID hit, and everything we know changed as educators with COVID. I know, mind blowing, right? Like what?
Boom.
COVID hit. And we continue to have pockets of greatness across our high school, but things were changing and people felt like they were working in isolation. And there was some frustration that was kind of building amongst our staff members of like, what do we do? The learning environment has changed. How can we find a solution to match these changes? What can work for our students? And so our story starts with one teacher. Her name is Tina Markley, another one you should know, John.
Miss Tina.
Our lowest level learners. She's an intensive reading teacher, and she stumbled upon EduProtocols Worldwide. So full circle moment here, where she was introduced to EduProtocols, and in her classroom, she started to kind of dabble with them, play around a little bit, and from there, introducing her colleagues in her department to EduProtocols, and our story has kind of spread since then. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, is how we go from the adoption piece all the way through the amplification, where every teacher in every classroom is on board with EduProtocols, which is a really cool thing to see and to experience. And I'm going to come back to that last bullet point kind of at the end when we talk about amplifying, that there are really small and cheap things that you can do starting tomorrow. I know tomorrow's Sunday, but people call you on
your Sunday scaries.
Call me out on But things that you can start doing tomorrow, whether you're a teacher, whether you're an instructional coach like myself. Also, I have one more shout out. We have our assistant principal of curriculum. We have a new assistant principal of curriculum. So she's joining us today to actually learn along with everyone. So no matter what level of the school you're at, these are things that you can start doing tomorrow or Monday morning that can really help to kind of organically get the ball rolling with EduProtocols so you can see wide scale success. And so with that, up is Allie Capan. She's going to talk about the teacher approach and how she got started with adopting EduProtocols.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Well, it's not morning for us, but we're kind of just past noon. So as Julie said, I am a physics teacher. I'm also the science department head. And I think when we first, at least when I first heard about EduProtocols, it was in a staff meeting. You know, Tina Markley shared a little something. I think she shared about Frayer models, and I've been teaching now. This is my start of my 23rd year, and I'm like, okay, Frayer models. Yeah, I know Frayer models. So I kind of blew it off. But then John came to our school with all of his amazing energy, and and so that piqued my interest a little, and we were able to go into classrooms. John went into different classrooms, and we were able to see these EduProtocols in action. And I think, for me personally, and kind of some of the trends I've noticed, is when a teacher can go into another teacher's classroom and see it actually working, it's so much more impactful. We've tried to do that in our little science department. I think we've all done EduProtocols in our department at this point. We've all at least attempted them. And it really was the opportunity to see it being used elsewhere to then bring it to our own classrooms and apply it. And having someone with a lot of energy who is very passionate about it, Julie Huggins, helps a lot as well. That helps a lot as well. You know, having that person bring it to our school is important, but trying to put the responsibility on a teacher to then have the whole school adopt this you just can't do it. Teachers know we have too much already. So finding that person on your campus who can be very energetic, very excited about it, get people on board, whether
it can do a little legwork for you.
Exactly. Having that person, I think, is really critical as well. That person who's built really good relationships, because I'm sure all of us here could tell you that Julie is a text away. We can text her and get advice and get ideas. And so I think that's a very important part of it as well.
And really, I'm going to piggyback on that. This is a we experience. This didn't happen overnight. It happened teacher by teacher. And it happened, as Allie was talking about, by seeing it, experiencing it, working with our colleagues. And then this process of trying an EduProtocol when it didn't quite go as we thought it might, or we weren't quite comfortable with something, trying it again, sharing with one another, really committing to the process that this is something that we were going to do as a school, because this is what was best for our kids coming out of, again, that COVID shift where learning is different, where we kept trying some more. We started to experience some success, but then we wanted to keep going. So we continue to try each and every day across all of these departments. All of our teachers were just trying. And that is the piece that really all I'm doing is helping to facilitate. I'm here in the afternoons between classes on planning periods, got an idea, need an idea. Let's try something. And I think that's at the core what we've learned through this process of EduProtocols is that it's the mindset shift. And John, I know you talk about this sometimes, but honestly, it needs to be talked about more. I think it's that growth mindset that this is not going to happen overnight. This is not going to be perfect from the get-go, and not everybody's going to get on board. We're at the point where we've experienced significant professional development with you guys, and there are still some teachers who are like, wait, how does this fit in my class? Why do I need to do this? And we're still working to open their minds, and it's that idea of trying. So we work with them colleague to colleague. Our admin works with them. I'm visible in the classrooms each and every day working to keep trying, because I think, again, that mindset piece is where that real shift comes in, and people can then start to experience, which Allie was talking about, that experience
or
piece.
said another way, you can't just hand out a bunch of EduProtocols and sit at your desk and get the results. It's a total makeover, which I don't tell teachers that right away because that sounds scary. I just start with, hey, here's Fast and Curious. And they're like, that's cool. What else you got? And that's that little leadership twist.
Yes. And that's part of this is truly, again, it's a we process, but it's also an organic process. And it's the idea of, just like you said, oh, that was kind of cool. Tell me how you did that. There's teacher talk that happens around a building. There's,
Right.
it's happening in the hallways. The kids are talking about things. People are coming up to me, asking me questions. Our admin wants to get in classes more, to know more about this. And so it's this organic process that gets the ball rolling, but none of it could happen without trying. And each of these teachers that are here today show up every day to try something. They're trying something new. They're trying to serve our kids the best. They're trying to deliver their content in a way that is engaging. And so they've really bought into that mindset piece. And again, it doesn't happen overnight. It's little by little, teacher by teacher. And so the adoption process, I would just say, and anybody can kind of chime in, don't get discouraged. If you've got 1, 2, or 10 teachers who are committed to this process and are really got their minds that have shifted and are ready for this, go with them. Let them be your early adopters. Let them be the ones who are spearheading the campaign. I just work behind the scenes. I am not the one standing up, even though I could, and I would love to do it. Someone give me pom-poms saying,
You
go.
are a stander-upper.
I would do that. But that's not going to translate. Again, it's the things that are happening in the classroom with that mindset shift that are really making this an organic process. So from that, we're going to shift over. Let me see if I can get my screen to go to the adapt piece. So once we got some buy-in from our teachers and some teachers that were on board. Oh, Sam might know what to do with tech better than
No,
me.
I don't, but I'm thinking that I have to go to my next slide.
Oh, next slide. Okay, hold on.
There we go.
Ta-da!
Okay. I actually
Teamwork approach.
It's wonderful. So we're trying to do our adopt, adapt, amplify. And so we're thinking about what are some easy strategies to help other teachers and other schools really implement these. But as Julie mentioned, not every teacher is going to be on board right away. And so I call this buy-in, and I know everybody else does too. But how do we get other teachers to really take that next step? And so when we were thinking about it, as John just mentioned too, starting small, starting with Fast and Curious, starting with a Frayer or a Sketch and Tell, something that is easy to apply for teachers on some level. And I know that's how I started. When John came and he was showing, I think he showed a really quick thing that all these kids can do. I'm trying to remember, the Great American Race. That was the class I was in.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, okay, wow, this is fast. This is interesting. And then Tina, one of our teachers, have been talking about Fast and Curious, and I teach AP World History. And there is so much that goes into it. And to help kids with vocab, that was my first in. And so starting small and showing teachers like, hey, this is what I did, it can be really useful. Experiential. This goes along with what everyone's saying. How do you get into a classroom? How do you bring John or others to show this? Because we as teachers, we don't just say, all right, we're going to go and I found this book, because I did. I had a teacher give me a book and I was like, okay, thanks. I see that these are really interesting, but how do I use them? And
I love it. That's exactly perfect. Okay, great. Now what?
I'm glad you're excited about it, but what do I do with this Iron Chef thing? What's this extra secret ingredient? I could not figure it out. And then when John came and Julie was sitting and we sat at the academy, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. And so being experiential for our teachers and introducing it at different times has helped, I know for me and others, tremendously, because until you can see it and apply it, you don't know what your students are going to be doing. And so being in the student's position helps so much. Sorry. Being ambassadors. Oh, thank you. I'm like, where's my screen is so small on my screen. All right, being ambassadors. And I think I know our department and many others, we have people who are they're stuck in I just want to lecture. I just want to talk about it. And which is wonderful for some teachers who can really be an engaging speaker, but kids still get bored when they're just writing notes, when they're just sitting there. And so I know for us, being ambassadors means, hey, I prepared this, I'm using this, and I'm going to send it out to some people and just say, hey, it's already ready for you. Here's something to go off of. Here's a smart start that I did, and it can be easy for you too. And so if you already have the packaged for someone, it makes it easier for someone to say, oh, I'll give it a shot because I don't have to make it myself. And so being those ambassadors, going out, sharing, giving them information, being
I always
consistent.
use the example of the crazy friend that makes you go to a restaurant you don't want to go, right? They're like, let's go, Mark Helfner. We're going to dinner. I don't want Thai food. It's going to be great. And then once they taste it, they're like, dude, this is pretty good. And I love
Oh,
that because once you let them taste the soup, they're like,
better.
I like this soup.
Yeah, and it's just easier if you don't have to, like, just go to a restaurant and give it to them before they have to make it at home and try it themselves. And that's what I'm thinking for those smart starts for different ideas. If I have it prepackaged for my team, they're more likely to use it and they'll try it themselves. But it's still, you got to get them past that moment of, do I really want to try something new? And so showing it, experiencing it, and then having it done makes it so much better. Consistency, I know for my students and for other teachers, showing them that you didn't just try it once, but you tried it over and over and you saw success and you saw something come out of it. I was talking to Allie the other day and she was talking about how she uses science reps. And I'm like, okay, well, how does that look? How would I use that in social studies? And sitting there thinking about, well, what could I do for a rep? How would I utilize things? But being consistent so that you're seeing it every day and other teachers are showing you it's working. And so you're not just being like, oh, I tried to sketch and tell, and 3 weeks later, I'm going to try something else. Showing your students that this is something that matters because it's teaching them to think. And lastly, like John was saying, don't be pushy all the time. I show it, but if I force it upon you in my department, if I said, you have to do this today, they probably look at me and go, sure. I'm not going to do it because you just told me I had to do it. Because you guys have teachers like that, right? They're going to look at you and go, no. And so showing them
That's
over.
not my style is my favorite one.
Oh, I'm just like, how do we do? And that's why I'm not good with memes. I am not very tech friendly, but John always has those great memes on his slides.
You nailed it with this one.
I tried to do something. I was
This
like,
is perfect.
but like, you don't buy it just because it's when they're pushing, you don't want to do it. And so getting them to see it, and that's where those other strategies come in handy. How do you get people to see it and utilize it quicker and so that they can see it used and is useful? All right, so I'm gonna
jump in real quick with that because I think Sam made some really great points. The consistency piece is key, and when we talk about Amplify, we're going to talk about that some more. That everything we do here at Lake Wales High School is through EduProtocols, so it has become our common language. It is that consistency piece, and then kind of piggybacking on the don't be pushy piece. That's where we all come into this picture. It's the, hey, I've got something. Let me share it with you. I'm just gonna send this to your inbox. Check this out. See what you think. Oh, you want me to come in and show you something? I got this. Oh, you're gonna be out. Oh, let me cover your class for you. It's all
Julie, tell them the sub story. I love that one. The Spanish sub.
So I love to kind of crash some sub classes. So I love to pop in when there are substitutes because we know sub lessons are subpar most of the time. And so I love to check in with students when I know there are subs in classrooms. Come in. I can throw them into a Fast and Curious. I can use AI on Snorkel or even through something as basic as ChatGPT, create some articles and we can toss students into a cyber sandwich. I can do that all while I'm walking to the class and then get with the students and spend 10 minutes. And suddenly there's energy, there's purpose, and the students are actually learning. So then when they go back to that subpar sub work, that may or may not make sense because they haven't had someone to facilitate their learning, to support their learning. Now suddenly things start to click for them so they can get back to the tasks at hand, even though they're probably not things that we want our students to be doing. But I love a good little takeover in a classroom. And so it's inroads like that then start to make a difference. And teachers start to say, okay, wait a second. I heard about that in a staff meeting. I saw that in the book. And now my students have done it. How can I make this work for me? And so it's really kind of, again, this organic process, but it's looking for all of those opportunities. And that goes back to that consistency piece. Everything we're going to do is going to be with EduProtocols. And so every opportunity that we have, we're going to seize that. And when you are consistently showing up for people, whether it's teacher to teacher, it's within departments, it's admin, even we're going to talk later about all the other staff members who are on board as well. Then it doesn't become pushy. It just becomes what we do. And so you can either kind of get on board or not. And people are not wanting to get left behind. This train is rolling out of the station. There's energy, there's excitement, there's momentum that's building, and people are really kind of chasing the train at this point, are like, let me on, let me on. So it's really cool. It's cool to be a part of that.
And speaking of sub plans, I was out with my girls this week. I had 2 sick days because my girls were sick, and EduProtocols saved me. I could easily say, my kids know how to do it. These 3 EduProtocols really, really well, and I don't have to explain it. So here, guys, here's your 3 thick slides, or here's your 3 of these. And man, I didn't have to plan more than just, okay, here's my content. How do I put it in? And I breathed so much easier. It took me like an hour and I was done. And I would never have been able to prepare a sub plan that easily with something quality that they would actually.
And you probably had better results from the kids.
She also teaches 3 preps.
I do.
3 grade level, 3 preps in an hour. Just putting that plug in there.
It's true.
Julie, Stephanie McNeely is going to reach out to you. She's super excited, and I believe she's down near you. And she's like, I'm the only one. Julie, help me. So I told her to email me. I'll connect you guys.
Yes, we'll make it happen, Stephanie. 100%. We'll make it happen.
All right. So on with, I know you guys probably have questions. We're going to try to keep moving, but I'm going to go ahead. We're going to do some more adapt. How do you implement this a little bit more thoroughly? All right. So where's the thing? Okay, there we go.
The first one.
Oh, yes. By the way, Robert Mayfield, get ready. They have the best school-wide Smart Start on the planet. On the
And
planet.
we'll send it to you. 100%.
Yeah.
We'll send it.
It's fantastic.
So yeah, on just kind of continuing that flow, the slow introduction, like it started with one person and then it expanded to a part of a department and then eventually to a whole department. And I got introduced to it 4 years ago in that classroom by Tina Markley, but couldn't, it was still very foreign. And then you slowly play around with it until there was enough that you began to understand like how to do it. It seems complicated, but it's really not. And so this past year, there was enough of us between several departments and enough people who had implemented individually that with Julie's kind of organization and skills, we put together a Smart Start for the whole school. But before the whole school did that, we Smart Started with our staff. And so it was through like the pre-days before school starts, it was introduced, and there was already probably, I don't even know, 25% of the teachers maybe before had used it and dabbled or had been. And so bringing it into all staff before those days before school started, they were using it in practical ways. So, like the boring staff, sorry, any admin in the room, but those
You'll have one with us and she's not offended.
well, they might be on no if you're, but yeah, where they're reading the emails or reading the slide presentation to you. Instead, they were using it with teachers as a Fast and Curious, or we had to Frayer, the new, and there's some of that is by law we have to do, we understand, but it's repeated information. And so it wasn't just a dull activity where we had to write stuff on poster sheets and go hang them around the room and stand in groups, which is what the awful thing we always have to do. Instead, it was actually engaging, right? And so we got into it, and in that way, it was like soft introduced to the whole staff. And then it was rolled out to our students because the staff then had a better understanding of what were all of these different protocols. And so, I think, is that the slide you guys are looking at? So those are just a few of the leaders. So how our school works, we have a block schedule normally, but on the first days, a lot of times we'll do all 7 of our periods in one day. So students get rotated and everybody, and again, with students, you have to do policies, procedures, all the things. And in every class period, they focused on one specific. So every classroom was doing the same school policy or the same procedure, but we were using it in a format of some type of an EduProtocol. So whether it was the cell phone policy or the dress code or the safety drills, and that's what. So then there was an intro slide deck that everybody had. The links were hot on it, and all we had to do as teachers was click through it. So I think we can do. I don't know how to click to the next one. So those are just some screen shots of like what the part of the deck looked like. And these are some of when they clicked on the links,
cyber sandwich for this was our code of civility. So our code of conduct. And, so the students got to roll out of, read it and then discuss. And so it made it super easy, a first day of classes for teachers. Then we also did, I think, our cell phone policy, which in Florida is unique. We have state laws that govern things. And so we had kids take a portion of the law. They had to read it so they know this is the real deal. And then, then it added to discussion. It adds to, instead of kids just falling asleep and kind of zoned out on that first day of class, you were actually.
And it's such a big double win because you're doing your gotta do stuff in a I'm at science camp kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
But you're also training them on how to do protocols at the same time. So there's no lost days. It's a different kind of efficiency, but you're picking up so much time, even though some teachers will say, oh, I can't spend that much time on it. Oh, dude, you're investing in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And it made it easy for teachers too, because, we're by those first days, the last thing you want to do is be planning something to fill time or to, take over. Super easy. I don't know. How do I move? I have to move it on here. Okay. Sorry. This is not my skill set on this, whatever. So there's Freya, the dress code. So because we have a school-wide policy. So again, that's their least favorite thing. And it's our least favorite thing too, to sit there and go, so this is, read this and this is how it works. It took that off of us and it actually put all of that onto the students to make them dig into it and make the distinctions and things like that. And then the very last one, we had like 7 class periods, so there were 7 altogether, but safety drills, right? Again, as dry as cardboard, but stuff you have to cover. Now this one, when they clicked on the link, I think there's 3 or 4 different safety drills. So they had a choice, pick which one you want to do, and then make your little report on that. And so it was interactive. They didn't all get the same one, but then you could do a quick present and all of them were covered with all the students. So it made a very kind of soft landing for teachers and students to actually put them into practice, to use them in a practical way, and then to see how it worked in a classroom. And get some of those little quirks out of the way and then see, oh, I see how I could do this, and once, and we were in California and it's true, once you begin to see how it works by either watching someone do it or getting it kind of laid out for you and you then put it into practice, you begin seeing that everywhere. Like you're like, oh, I can EduProtocol that,
And that's when the shift really happens, right? When you're in a national park and you see a poster and you're like, oh my God, it's a number mania.
Yes, exactly.
That's when it really kicks in.
Yeah, it's like you catch the virus and from there, but that's how you kind of begin that process. It started with one, it spread. And then by the time we got, that whole teacher buy-in, then rolled it out. And it's still, like they said, a mixed bag. It's maybe, I don't know how many percentage of the school, but there's a lot of kids that are getting it in different classrooms now. And it's not every teacher, it's not 100%, but it's really familiar. And we use the terms, they know what a frayer, they know it doesn't matter which one we pull out. No, they know what.
And that's why when you talk about John Hattie, the number one Hattie is collective teacher efficacy. And you just said it. If I know Freyer in English, I know Freyer in math, which means everybody's workload goes down and kids start working at being like professional Freyers instead of what's this stupid assignment I just want a D.
And that's part of the adapt piece is that, it wasn't just during pre-week. It wasn't just that we rolled these smart starts out to our students to cover our policies. It's that each of our staff meetings is EduProtocoled. Every time we are together, again, this is our common language. So people can see what it looks like in all the different forms, that a Freyer does not have to be exactly the same in English as it does in math. And so we're constantly giving our teachers not only that experience, but also those ideas so that then they do start walking around going, ooh, I could EduProtocol that. I mean, that's a real thing that's happening live on our campus every day. And it's really cool to see. Very cool.
All right. We're moving to the next.
I don't feel judged at all, Julie, but my wife's in here now. So she's making comments. Just, don't overdo it. Like she's just a person. She's not a magician.
We got it. We got it. I'm gonna put all this up on the screen at once because I had the idea of making it clickable and then didn't realize in Zoom that that's a lot harder. So the last piece is that once you have this kind of starting on your campus, how do you amplify it? How do you get this to be a wide scale movement? How do you scale up for success, both for your teachers, but also for your students? And there are some, like I said earlier, there's some things that cost you nothing that you can start doing first thing Monday morning or planning
Right.
about tomorrow if you want. And so the first thing that we do kind of as a collective staff is consistently ask what is best for our students. And when we go to answer that question, we know that one of the best things forever for students has been structure. And using EduProtocols, which are these lesson frames, as we know, they provide structure to our students, to our classrooms, to the learning that's happening, whether it's in a personal training class, because we have a robust academy system here, or it's a math class, it's an Algebra 1 class, whether it's, band or it's nursing or ELA, it doesn't matter. These are the structures that our students get to know and then get to expect. And this kind of led us then to establishing routines. So it's not just about coming in every day and seeing the same thing, but it's about having that expectation that when you are asked to do something in a classroom as a student, you know exactly what is expected of you. You don't have to think, does this have to be pretty? Is my teacher grading on pretty points? Is it okay if I go to Google? You don't have to spend time trying to figure out the assignment. Our students can spend more time working with the content. And that has been huge. So these routines that we're starting to establish at the adoption level are getting students to participate, because we know a lot of classrooms have students that are not participating these days. Students thinking, which is at the core of learning, and then asking questions. And so those are the routines that EduProtocols start to provide, that the structure starts to provide our students. And then teachers have to adapt their teaching. And to scale this up, they have to go from the stand and deliver model, which we know, going back to Hattie, our guy, is detrimental to students. Stand and deliver is not effective at all. And so teachers have to start adapting their teaching style so that they are present in the moment. They can't sit in the back at a desk. They can't pass out a worksheet and then just be done. But they get to be in the moment working with our students, which, oh my gosh, I'm like getting goosebumps talking about this. This is what gets me up in the morning. It's not caffeine, contrary to popular belief. It's not caffeine. It's things like this that our teachers get to give real-time feedback. They get to adapt in the moment with our kids for what our kids need. Because again, we got to ask ourselves, what is best for our students? And then that translates to student success. When these routines are in place because of the structure and the teacher is tailoring instruction to them, success is off the charts. And our teachers feel, again, oh my gosh, guys, look, serious goosebumps. I hope I'm not the only one in here getting goosebumps. But that is the measure that we're after, is that our students feel this success, and that our teachers are able to support our students in that. And that's that amplify piece.
And Julie, Rob just shared something in the chat that I know you guys will love, which is because of the fact that he's got this reduced workload and he doesn't have to, quote, lecture, he's now spending all of that time, listen to these words, you guys, hanging out with kids while they work. That is a totally different vibe besides, won't you guys be quiet? Now the vibe is, hey, go to work. And then I'm out chilling with kids, actually getting to know the kids, talking with the kids, and then providing all of that micro feedback that makes them feel confident.
Yeah. And so then the other thing that we've kind of learned through this experience is to really remove all of our excuses. So if you are an instructional coach, if you're an administrator, if you're looking to bring EduProtocols to your campus, or you're just one teacher who would love to see it expand, training, collaboration, practice, all of that is essential. Can't afford to bring John and the crew to your campus? That's okay. You become the trainers. We just had staff lead professional development about 2 weeks ago, where teachers had autonomy in what they delivered. They got to select what sessions they wanted to attend, and they got to engage in that meaningful collaboration with their peers. And so that's something that cost us $0 to do, but training is that critical piece. And then again, that collaboration that comes with it, but also the practice piece. We talk about practicing again and again and again. Keep trying, try some more. If it didn't go well, that's okay. We're going to try. And so it's not this excuse that I did it once, it didn't work for me, I'm going back to what I know is best for students, because no, that isn't what is best for students. And then the third thing we've kind of learned is that everyone gets to coach our kids. We have this truly coachable model where we have our media specialist who does 9th grade orientation in the library with EduProtocols. Our guidance counselors push in for grade level meetings into our ELA classrooms, and they're using CurryPod, and they're using EduProtocols to go over what graduation requirements are. We have substitutes who are asking, hey, can you set this up for me? I want kids to do a frayer, because I see there are 4 elements to what I'm supposed to do today. And then we also have our admin who, again, are getting into the classrooms, they're engaging with our students. And because we've shifted to that facilitation piece where we're adapting in the moment to our students, anyone can do it. We all have high school degrees. And so anyone is qualified to do this, to meet student needs in the moment so that our students can be successful. And so empowering across your campus those who have that mindset and those who are a part of this system to amplify it to the next level. And that, again, costs you $0, and all can start happening tomorrow. So I've talked enough. We're going to bring Ashley on because she's going to talk a little bit about the and Lauren, sorry, from, I didn't know which one was going first. Ashley was giving me eyes like, stop talking here. Oh, they're tag teaming. This is fabulous. All right, they're going to talk more about the teacher piece of the Amplify.
Did you want to go first?
You can go ahead and start, and then I'll
So,
kind of fill.
I have a unique coming into EduProtocols. I've been at Lake Wales High School for 3 years. Started hearing about it when, John, when you came to our school last year, I was out. I was out sick. I had to be. I had to take my mom to doctor's appointments. I missed it.
That was the worst day of the year to miss.
I was so bummed, and I heard everybody talking about it. So that got my interest sparked, but I still hadn't gone through the trainings. I was picking up pieces here and there, but I really wanted to see it in action. So when they asked if anybody wanted to go during the summer, I was like, absolutely. So that was kind of my first real training, was in Laguna this summer. And that was absolutely perfect and wonderful. But one of the things that I think, and I try to emphasize when I'm sharing information, is, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's important to show your students too, is that nothing has to be perfect. That
there's safety in the reps, right?
Well, then, and as a teacher, if I'm doing something, I'm like, that didn't work out. I do a snorkel and the AI is not kind of giving them the feedback I want. I can go, you know what? Next time I'm going to change that. We'll work through it this time. And there's transparency with the students. Look, I'm an adult. This is my job. I made a mistake. I expect you guys to make mistakes, but look, I didn't just shut down. I didn't just say I'm done. You show that, and that's modeling even just that growth mindset behavior that the EduProtocols are allowing me the opportunity to do in that real time.
I'm similar to her in the fact that last year was my first experience kind of just being introduced a little bit at a time. And I took over an IB senior English class that the students had not been in pre-IB in 9th and 10th grade. So I was kind of trying to fit 2 years of curriculum into 1 year. And I was trying to figure out ways to get them engaged, but also get the information done. And for me, Class Companion was wonderful, because I could put the IB paper 1 rubric right in. And I loved, and as an English teacher, I have a hard time with AI grading anything. Like, that was my initial, I should be the one. But I think people need to understand you are still the one, because you're the one that's walking around as they get that instant feedback, which would take me hours to provide, and be able to then guide them additionally, and then see if there's somewhere, like she said, that I need to tweak to make it clear for the students or clear for AI what I'm expecting. And to see the kids really engaged that way was incredible. And on the flip side, I also teach lower level 12th grade students, and several are not on reading level, and we work towards that. So taking the class companion and making it work for them and being able to tweak the rubric to be simplified. We did Michael Lewis's speech, don't eat the fortune cookie, which is an amazing speech. And the students, utilized Cyber Sandwich to take notes with it. And then we went and, made it into the paragraph. And, they get a 5 out of 10 the first time. And I'm like walking around going, I'm so excited because you're just going to move up from there, and they really took the feedback. And, and these are kids that are not usually sitting still, like focused in things. But because we made it interactive and then they focused themselves, then they would get 7 out of 10. And they're, usually if they got a 70, they're like, hey, I passed, I'm good to go. But they're like, no, I'm doing it to get the high. So that was so exciting for me. So, and then another story of just this year, when I was putting together a lesson with the IB kids, we do non-literary works in Lang and Lit, and students aren't familiar with advertisement terms and all of that type of stuff. We started with a campaign with Nike called Dream Crazy, and I really wanted the students to research all of the different athletes that were in it. So I used a thick slide with group work and where they did a visual, and they did, I had points that I wanted them to include. Well, one kid who had been in a class that had done a lot of EduProtocols automatically put it into the Frayer.
Yeah, he just blasted it, huh?
And I was like, Eureka, this is amazing, and it was so much more organized. So I'm like, I'm already going to change this for the next time we do this. So I'm so appreciative to you. And I just wanted to say that as a teacher that, has been around for a really long time, I like to dabble in things, but I've never been so excited about changing, because this really is so student centered. And that's what's so exciting about it. So, and then we were going to talk about, it's important also give yourself grace. Like you find a mistake, then you correct it, and it just makes it stronger and stronger. But also having a common place for teachers to be able to drop their templates that they've created. We have that in my department. I think there's some of the other departments are a lot more sophisticated in the way that they're doing it, but we're just getting started. But it's so much, you're not reinventing the wheel. So it's the most important thing. And you're able to get resources from, your Facebook page, your actual, your website. That's just, and I love the Facebook page because people are interacting and giving you suggestions, and you guys are on it. And so it's just amazing to me. So thank you for that.
Well, and 2 really good points I want to highlight that you brought up. Number 1 is I'm always very clear with the kids. I'm still grading you. AI is screening you.
I'm the final.
If the AI says it's perfect, I'm still going to check. If the AI says it's bad, let's see what it says, is a totally different approach. And I very much have seen the same thing you have, where kids, when they realize that somebody's actually reading their stuff and that they can fix it now and get a better grade now, it is a totally different energy, 100% different energy. And then the second point I want to make real quick is that the publishers mess us up by giving us 1 different activity per day. And I think that in their heart, they're thinking these kids and teachers need variety. But could you imagine being on a sports team where the practice is different every day? There's a point where it gets demoralizing because you're never good. Or imagine even if you're a chef, new recipe every day, you never get to do a recipe again until next year. And so you realize that your cook's stuff is not as good as you want, but you have to wait till next year. And so with protocols, like you said, you can just go, well, that stunk, but we're going to change this and we'd be good to go.
And I just want one other thing that I said, kind of spinning off on all of this, is that within the science department, we all kind of took it on. There were a lot of science teachers that went to Laguna. We brought it back and shared it. But we have a place, we have a WhatsApp group. We have our Google Drives that we share with each other. I'm not the only one that teaches biology. There's another biology teacher. We take turns. She'll make one EduProtocol and we'll use it for that lesson. Then I'll make the next one. We share. It's completely taken down my workload, which is amazing. Yeah. And so now I can focus on making it better instead of focusing on the content. I can take what we already have.
Optimizing instead of just slogging through.
Yes. And then one of the things that's helpful is we've all become our own little experts. Like everybody up here has their favorites that they do. And that was what was really neat about the training we got to do. But even within our science department, if I'm struggling with CuriePod, I can put in our WhatsApp, hey, does CuriePod do this?
Yeah.
CuriePod do
Yeah.
that? And then whoever's real comfortable.
And your answer might come from the ag department or PE. And that is unheard of in teaching because we put ourselves in these little silos.
Yeah, and we so very rarely get to come together. So it's nice to have that. Julie's put a place with a lot of the formats and everything. But then just doing the training, I was able to share things that I do just to tweak it a little bit, and other people were able to share things. And it's interesting because EduProtocols, it sounds like this is you do this, but it's so adaptable. So it's that I think is what makes it so easy, and it is universal. It's something that every subject can use. Every teacher can use, any person can use.
Okay. We're ready for it.
So in true educator mode, we know that every minute matters. And so we have gone down to the wire, but we did want to open up, if there are questions, John, I know you're monitoring the group chat, to pick our brains, because this is what is happening each and every day here on our campus. These are the soldiers. They're on the front line, they're in the trenches, and they're figuring it out. And so part of this session was the learning piece, and how can we help anyone who is also in the same spot where you're trying to figure this out each and every day. So I don't know if you want to pop to the chat, John, and toss us some questions. Or
I've been in the chat the whole time, sister. I've been. We're popping in there. So looking for some questions in the chat right now. It's just love fest in there. They're like, thank you, I love it, I love the adaptability, thank you for sharing. Stephanie's going to reach out to you from Washington State
I'm going to drop my mail into the chat, so anyone who needs it, I'll pop that in.
Okay. Oh, and then Robert says pure jealousy with all the staff buy-in. But my answer to that earlier was you don't have a Julie Huggins, and that is part of the answer.
Absolutely. And we were all talking earlier just about general life stuff, and the way you get influenced by something that you see, and then you share it with somebody else, and that's just how information spreads nowadays. It's the same thing with this. Is somebody gets into it, it spreads. The kids are buying in, the kids love it. I hear kids talking about stuff that I've never done that they're doing in other classes, and I'm like, oh, how can I adapt that? Because they already know how to do this, so there's not that learning curve of now we're going to do this and that, and it just makes it so much easier.
And if you don't have a Julie, it's okay. As much as we love her, and I don't know what I would do without her. And you can't take her.
Well, yeah, that's the problem is not having a Julie doesn't scale. We got to figure out a backup plan.
I'm not going anywhere. These are my people.
But it's that taking the adaptation, and if you have a smart start that you found and sharing it, like showing making it as easy as possible. And Julie is what she does that for us.
She's our instructional coach, someone asked. But she's so much more. I actually call her the heartbeat of the school because she can walk into a class and call students by their name. So she is helping the teachers, but she's also right there with the PBIS for students. So it's amazing. I've never experienced someone like her.
I mean, we do EduProtocols. We have meetings at our school every Monday morning, and we do EduProtocols school-wide, QR codes up on the screen, all of the students in the gym, all of the students actively meeting with each other and doing fast and curious on things.
That's awesome.
So
Robert would like to know, Julie, what's your actual job title?
So my actual job title is instructional coach, but I don't know if I'm actually really good at, I don't know if I'm good at anything, or just I dabble in a lot of things.
Well, I would say one thing for anybody that has a coach or is a coach that's listening, I think what I like about what Julie does is she's pedagogy first. And a lot of times when people become tech coaches, they become spreadsheet first. And so they're in their office and they're looking at spreadsheets and looking at the spreadsheets and looking at the data. But meanwhile, they're not visiting the classrooms. And so if you're a coach, my favorite trick is visit the classrooms when the kids are in there. Do not make people meet with you after school until they're excited about what you want to talk about. And I see that from a lot of coaches, which is they're in their little office bunker, doing the data assessment, sharing PDFs, printing tests, doing their little things, but they're very distant from the actual classroom. And Rhonda Carippo wants to know about whole school in the gym.
Whole school in the gym. So
Morning
we,
meeting.
so yeah, so we meet as a school every Monday for a 25-minute school assembly. It's part of our community aspect. Look, oh, now you can see the behind the curtain. So we do in-person announcements, which is great to connect with kids and talk about what's happening on campus. But then also we're facilitating school culture in that 25 minutes. And so again, if our common language is going to be EduProtocols, we're going to do everything through EduProtocols. So whether it's Hispanic Heritage Month that we're celebrating and we're doing flags of the world with a fast and
It's
curious.
thematic.
Yeah, whether we're
it's almost like a Monday rally.
Yeah, whether we're in a Curie pod and we're voting on what we want our end of the year PBIS event to be, whether we are playing some sort of game, everything is done through EduProtocols.
Right.
I've got a fun one for you, Julie. Do a
Yeah?
school-wide snorkel of the Big Mac song. Remember? Two all beef patty special sauce. Do that in snorkel as an audio only response. And the first 5 kids that get a perfect score, they get some kind of thing. They can, you know what? They can have the turnover chain for the day.
We can video for you that for you on Monday morning. We got that for you.
And Rhonda says, how many students are you doing that with? Because I don't think she's ready for how big this number is.
About 15 to 1600 are there Monday morning. We're a school of 1600, but we do have some kids that are off campus, seniors who come in late and whatnot in dual enrollment. So we have about 1500 kids in our gym every Monday morning doing this.
And the teachers are standing, they go with their first period. So the teachers are standing with them, ensuring that everybty is acting appropriately. But the main thing is because I remember when this was implemented.
Oh gosh,
Rhonda seems excited. She's typing in all caps now.
But for people that want to do a morning meeting, please understand, previous to that, we had only had pep rallies in there. So we really had, it was when we changed the climate and culture of the school that we were able to do this. So it is a gradual shift, but it's wonderful. And we have community members that come in and guest speak. And it's just, they're always in awe of how observant and respectful and responsive our kids are. So.
Oh, we do it every day or every week
Monday.
in this case. It's a consistency piece. When they scan this QR code or log in at joinmyquiz.com or whatever it is, like kids know immediately.
And they know the EduProtocol that we're going to be utilizing.
Yeah.
So
Rhonda asks, who leads it? Who leads this session? Is it, I think, team?
Morning meeting.
It's a team.
We're gonna have to fly Julie out, it looks like. So Julie, back to the Big Mac thing. So they have to read the song with no errors in 2 seconds, and then they have to make a claim, give evidence and their reasoning about why they do or don't like a Big Mac. All audio. It's incredible. I did it with 150 kids down in Texas. It was incredible.
We're gonna multiply that to 1500 and see how it goes.
Okay, and Rhonda says you can stay at our place when you fly out.
Oh,
done.
Any Floridian people on here, we actually welcome you and encourage you to come and even check out a morning meeting so you would see what it's like. Absolutely.
Rhonda says I'm not allowed to lead anything.
Rhonda, you come.
Yes.
Hang out. We'll feed you.
Okay,
everything.
now I might have to fly Rhonda to Florida without me. That's wait.
All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, we got to get you guys to your next session.
Thank you so much, you guys. I love the format of the, you've got your backdrop and you're just talking at the camera like it's a rap battle.